to the SCORE Business Showcase. We have another exciting guest with us here in the city of Bridgeport. I'd like to welcome Christian Bernard.
Thank you.
Welcome, Christian.
Nice to meet you, Steve, again.
Yes, indeed.
Pleasure being here. Thank you.
You got some exciting things going on, I understand, down where you're at over on Union Avenue.
That's correct.
All right. Tell us about that 800 Union Avenue. What's going on down there?
Okay, well, quite a bit. We are a nonprofit that we have a kind of a business sensibility about things because one of the things about nonprofits at times is, you're looking for money, but the reality is that you have to have something more than just the money that you receive in order to make what it is that you want sustainable. Mm-hmm. So our focus is business based, and if there's no sustainability in the business, then we're not going to take the money. Right? So what we're doing at 800 Union is creating a number of different business centers that can sustain themselves. And the three magic elements of where our community needs to go is job training, job creation, job placements. And those are focuses that we have at 800 Union.
That's fantastic. Now, it sounds like an incubator.
It is an incubator.
All right. And how did that just begin? How did that happen?
Well, that's it's a long story, but we won't, we're here, we have a short amount of time. How it started is that we came up with our plans, our wishes, our desires of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to build. In that whole dynamic, because we build small homes, not tiny ones, small. In that dynamic, we figured, well, who's actually going to build these things? We do plan on doing this here in Bridgeport and throughout the Northeast and the country if possible. Mm-hmm. But the reality was that we didn't really have the labor force necessary to get it done. So within that dynamic, we created what we called Qualified Training Institute. And Qualified Training Institute, the whole purpose of that is to give, whether you're a reentry citizen, a at-risk youth, or what have you, give you an opportunity to learn construction trades, get involved in certain training programs that can, give you, or you can get credentials, and therefore, start to move forward in your life. Mm-hmm. So part of that is where we get our labor, and we wanted to make sure that they were trained and properly able to service our needs.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have partners?
I do have partners. My partner right now, who's not with us, mm-hmm. He's enjoying Florida.
Ah.
His name is Aaron Charles, and yes, he was instrumental in helping us move where we are today.
Okay, all right, fantastic. Now, what impact on the community do you hope to achieve?
Well, from those three elements of job creation, job placement, job training, we really do hope to add a fabric to the community. Right now, 800 Union Ave is in an area that is basically it's a deprived area. It's distressed officially, right? Mm-hmm. It's a food desert. There's no way for people to get adequately nourished. When all you have is a bodega or a restaurant, a fast food store, there's not really a lot of choices. Mm-hmm. So bringing about all this activity, we hope to bring in traffic, different groups, kind of create a cultural stew, and bring some of these items that are very important. So one of the elements that, we're going to skip around a little bit today, but being that we're in a food desert, one of the things that we have going on at 800 is urban farming. So we have a section that right now is creating microgreens and rapid turnover materials that we can sell to the community or to others who want to bring that healthy perspective to the rest of the world.
Well, you're starting to get me hungry.
Yeah, I don't know about microgreens. There's only so much hunger we have for those things.
All right, and you got some other things going on too when it comes to food too.
Yeah, we do. We also are in the works. We're working with partners right now to develop the full spectrum of it, but we have a culinary program. It's a culinary incubator program whereby we're going to have commercial kitchens at 800 Union. And the concept is that, we want, whether you're a GI or a second chance citizen or at-risk youth, you have the opportunity to come and learn skills, whether it's food preparation, knife handling, actually learning how to make different dishes and what have you. And our point is that being a kind of business focused, we would want our students or the people that we're working with to have the opportunity to work with outside businesses and therefore hone their skills, learn with other people that are actually doing it, because that's a lot of the times is the disconnect with education, right? You can learn all you want, but if you're not doing it, what good is it?
Exactly.
Right? So that's what we want to bring to the table, where yes, you're learning, you're getting these certifications, you're building your career, but you also need the actual hands-on, on-the-job training in order to get that done.
That's interesting because, you know, I took carpentry at Bullard Havens in Bridgeport.
Okay.
And one of the things that they did was we actually built a home in Lordship.
Okay.
Right? So we had hands-on. But also the culinary side, right? At that time it was called food trades.
Right.
Way back when. And
Before they got French.
Right. Exactly. And so what they even do today is people come in during the course of the day for lunch, and they can actually pay for a meal, and they fix it.
That's exactly what one of the things that we want to do in the space that you've been to. Part of it on one of the sides will be like our little pop-up dynamic, where whomever is the chef of the week or what have you has the opportunity to, you know, put their wares up and their skills to the test.
That's fantastic.
One of the things is that we're going to build anywhere between 6 to 10 commercial kitchens, and a few of those will be media ready, meaning that they'll have camera mounts, and so it'll be kind of we can get our what is it called, our Iron Chef on, I guess.
Our Master Chef.
Master Chef, whatever.
Have Gordon Ramsay come down here.
This is horrible. No, I don't know if I can deal with Gordon today.
How about that?
Crisis of confidence when I'm cooking. Yeah.
Now, what are your demographics that you plan on impacting?
Well, we spoke a little bit about it, but you know, currently we work with some really great kind of similar to us, where they have a nonprofit element, but they're really business driven, and you know, the workplace is one place that we have partnered with, not partnered, but we've worked with them. They have their own entities, so I don't want to give anyone a wrong impression.
Yeah.
But they're awesome, and the reality is that they help people get to the point where they can start to aggressively attack, you know, the marketplace and look for jobs and have the skill set necessary to actually be a valuable or a valid applicant. So that's one of the things that, you know, excites us, is helping people who need a, you know, life throws some curves at you every once in a while, and I'm definitely a poster child of curve and hitting curveballs, I guess, too. But the reality is that, you know, with some of these people, you would never think that, you know, there's a lot of things to overcome, right? So part of what we're happy to do is to help them overcome it in a space where there's a little bit of, it's not compassion, but empathy, and like, you've got that second chance, I'll make it work. You know, we're not here to wait and have you do a third chance. You're like, you're on your second, let's go. You know, so we're serious, we're disciplined about it, but we also want to help.
Now, this is like in the area of challenges, your trepidations or doubts that you had in working in those demographics.
Yeah, I mean, there's little things that you don't even recognize. For example, your insurance coverages. Who are you bringing in? How does that affect your bottom line? We are also a business. So part of it is that, you know, if you, some of the trepidations, well, who can we go after? Because if I bring a certain person in, will that allow me, or will that harm me? Will that allow me to move forward, or will that make some extra hoop with barbed wire and, you know, knives and flames and stuff that I got to go through? So, you know, that was kind of the trepidation, to figure out the landscape. How do we work with it, and how do we allow it to be a positive as opposed to a, you know, like ivy crushing a flower trying to bloom.
And that's interesting too. It makes me think of, I was watching Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg, yesterday actually on TV, because he's right before the Congressional Committee. And it's interesting because the dynamics have changed for him from when he first started. And now they're seeing that evolve. And so, of course, there's challenges that are coming up for him. Pretty interesting.
I mean, very interesting. I could probably deal with most of those challenges with $50 some odd billion. But nonetheless, I mean, not to get too political, but it's almost kind of funny because you didn't think that's what this company was doing?
Yes.
All right. Anyhow, so now that we know, we can move forward. But yeah, the challenges are still, now he's got to pivot. You know,
Yes.
he's got to see what's going on. And again, they have more than enough resources to kind of figure it out. So
And that's what happens with companies,
Yeah.
right, in general.
that's why I went the path that I went. And the path that I went was definitely not the normal path, but I don't think I've ever done anything normally, so so be it. But I went to law school because as law changes, business has to change. And if you as a business don't change, you then become obsolete. You die. So part of my dynamic when I was in school was to learn like how this whole dynamic works, and try to have a different perspective on it.
Interesting, interesting. So you have a mixed bag of things.
Yeah,
That's
it's called a bag. Yeah.
That's good. Now, you're still going through the beginning stages of this. When do you plan on opening up to the public?
Well, we have kind of a staggered launch planned. We also, again, we're jumping around, but this is the nature of this conversation, is that part of our space, we have an art gallery, an art space. Actually, it's art spaces, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, there's an actual gallery. Then there's like a community room where you can learn kind of art therapy dynamics, and then there's a room where you can take classes and what have you. So, like for example, we're going to have children painting sessions, adults, with the sip and paint type of dynamics. So, and then just gallery shows and what have you with local artists. So we're very much interested in a lot of the artists that were in. I won't mention what places they were in, but they know where they were and they know where they can come now.
Okay.
So that's the whole dynamic. So we're looking at the 28th of April, which I know will be airing after that. But nonetheless, the issue is that will be going on at that time.
Excellent. Well, sign me up for the sip and.
There.
I like that. It sounds like you'll be.
You want me to get you big paintbrushes?
Absolutely.
Well, we paint walls, all right?
Sounds good to me. Now, how is the company different as far as interacting with 800 Union?
Well, the reality is that we've created a universe in a way, right? So it's different because the companies that are here, we obviously want them to succeed, and that's our point. Is when you come into 800 Union Hub, we're going to give you the environment, the agar, basically, for you to bloom. Agar is kind of grim, but you follow me. The soil, the fertile soil.
And that brings up a question too, because there are other incubators in
Yes.
city of Bridgeport.
Yes.
One over on, I believe it's Connecticut Avenue. There's one at UB, right? Also, and there might be a few other places that they're up and coming. How are you different than those?
Right. Our difference is our sheer size and what it is that we're able to do. For example, we have about 340 some odd thousand square feet that we're able to function in. And that allows us to do a lot of different things other than just give you a desk and a chair and maybe some Wi-Fi. All right, so that's cool and that's great, and everyone needs it who wants to become a business person. But
Yes.
we're looking for a more immersive environment, and so I think that's kind of the dynamic. We're probably more in your business as an incubator than a lot of other companies.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Now, you mentioned some of the services that you have, talking about the kitchens that you're going to have in there. Any other services that you're going to provide?
Yeah, well, the whole element is that, again, coming from this universe of the small homes, right, it's branched us out into a number of different things. So not only do we have the Qualified Training Institute, which helps us train, do vocational type of training, also career, more development training and what have you, so that you can get your continuing education credits. So we're working through all of those things. I think that's one of the elements that we have.
That's excellent.
So yeah, the size of what we do and how we do it.
That's fantastic. You know, I've been down there a few times, and I'm excited every time I get down there because
Something's different every
yes.
time you get down there.
And also, you know, what was really exciting to me was the cars that you had hidden away down there.
Okay,
You
here
know,
we go.
So what a special connection between Black Horse Garage and Ferrari, and particularly the 1951 Ferrari 212 Intour.
Yes. Now, our relationship with Black Horse is one of the preeminent automobile restoration companies, you know, in the Northeast in the country probably. And the whole dynamic with the Ferraris and Black Horse is that Frank Bonanno, who is the founder of Black Horse, and now it's being run by his son, John. But Frank's dad, and as you can tell by his last name, he was Italian, Bonanno, good year. And he was in the States, and he formed a small trucking company. And you know, most people, he was proud of his Italian heritage, so he scraped and put together his money so he could buy what? A Ferrari. And his son, Frank, at the time he's very mechanically inclined. I think he was about 15 years old when he got into his dad's 212 Inter. And he restored the engine. He took down and restored the engine and was about 95 to 99% accurate. So people from Ferrari saw what he did because he couldn't figure out the last little bit. He couldn't understand the valve, where to adjust things for valve timing because it was in Italian. So then once he got to a Ferrari dealership, or a fledgling one, I think this was in Miami or what have you. No, in Manhattan, sorry. And they were like, this is incredible. And so they hired him to then work on Ferrari. So it's been a long, you know, history with Ferraris and the Bonanno family, and then obviously the love of, you know, restoring cars and the disciplines related to that is another reason why we got involved.
Okay.
I'll go into that as a kind of a B part to that question, is that, you know, we, with regards to the small homes, had to deal with the training concept. Who's going to make them? Well, the same issue applies with cars. Who is going to fix carbureted cars? You know, if you don't have an ODB2 sensor
that's
thing,
right. Yes.
you know, what are you going to do? So the backdrop of this was that Frank was also a veteran. He went to the 82nd Airborne, which leads into some other things that we're doing as well, and we'll dovetail into that as well. But you know, he went into the Army. He then came out, went into aeronautics engineering, and put down this awesome concept, because when you have a car, it's not just a vehicle. So an old car, for example, if I don't have the part, what do I got to do? I have to machine it. That requires engineering. That requires looking at the schematics, figuring it out, making the actual part. Then there's the actual being a mechanic of it all, right? Which,
yes.
right? And then there's the actual body work and colors and rounding out shapes and doing that. Then there's woodworking, and there's interior stuff like leather. So all of these different disciplines roll up into one being, which is the car.
Yes.
So similarly, we have a mechanics incubator program that we're also working with partners to finish up. We have an idea of what it is, but I want to be vague just because as we develop it, you know,
Yes,
I don't want people to have the wrong idea.
That's fantastic. Now, why is Black Horse Garage considered a hidden treasure in Bridgeport?
Well, number one, if you can find them, right, which is Union Ave, and as we said, it's kind of a distressed area. So it's unique to have some of the most incredible cars in our space. So as you saw, I mean, we have everything from, you know, the James Bond Aston Martin.
Yes.
We have a Buick Grand National. We service all needs. A lot of Porsches, definitely a lot of Ferraris.
It's almost like a car museum.
It is a museum, and just phenomenal. And then some of the mechanics, not only John Bonanno, but then Matt Carfo, who is he's one of their partners. He's the protege, young mechanic on the block who has a phenomenal understanding of machines. So between all of them, I get so much, background knowledge for cars. It's pretty amazing.
That's fantastic. Now, what does classic car care without compromise entail?
Well, the thing is, you can either get an oil change, for your car, or you can have the metal stripped and, stripped bare and then repainted and put on for Concours d'Elegance and Pebble Beach or what have you. So they really run the gamut as far as restoration, and everything that's done, everything that we spoke about, the machining of the parts, the body work, the interior, the mechanics, all of that is done on under one roof. So it's really immersive, and conceptually that's what we're looking to bring to GIs and some of these other second chance citizens and at-risk youth who have an interest in vehicles. Because when you come into this space, I mean, you saw it, it's like, whoa, you know?
Right.
So if you like cars, you're going to go, whoa.
Yes.
And then if you want to work on cars, you're going to go, whoa, because it's like, I get to work on this? You know, and yeah, it's a step-by-step process, and the Bonanos bring you through it. But this is what the whole point is, and that's how we got connected from that whole training element.
So, you know, a combination there as far as you talked a little bit about it impacting youth.
Yeah.
How about veterans in particular?
Yeah, well, we have a big veteran slant, and as I said, Frank Bonanno was a 82nd Airborne paratrooper, and you know, the thing about it is that what we want to do with a lot of, and again, we're skipping, but some of the direct demographics that we're going after are the veterans, because obviously it's been kind of underserved. It's good that it's getting more and more notoriety now, but at the same time, stuff has to happen. So,
exactly. Now, it's you guys are doing a lot of things. Where did you come up with these ideas? Anyways,
my friend Aaron likes to drink wine. No, I'm joking. No, we really every day we pretty much learn. You know, our circumstance. You have to be flexible, fluid, as they say nowadays. Anyway, that's a whole another loaded term. So we have to kind of figure out things along the way. Not everything is, you know, established, and a lot of things that we're doing kind of push boundaries. So
that's fantastic. That's fantastic. You guys have a lot of things going on. Talk a little bit about your challenges. How about successes? Do you have, you know, can you put something in a nutshell?
Yeah, I mean, our successes is that I'm here talking to you right now. Our success is that we're able to actually have some sort of path forward with the homes and all that universe that we are creating. So it's something, again, you know, you kind of, you want things to go, you want to just add water and then have a business, but you really do have to put in the work.
Yes. And just to let them know, what type of companies are you looking for to actually join you?
Yeah, we are, you know, into real estate and technology. So our real estate creates that universe where we create smart homes. So then there's, you know, elements within that. There's technologies that we require in order for the homes to function properly. We have a sales dynamic. So the issue is this: is that if you have a business idea that is in the real estate or technology realm, or ventures in between the two of them, that's, you know.
Good, good. Now, how can people get in touch with you, by the way?
Yeah, they can give us a call, and our number is 203-549-9990. They can email us at dblshomes@gmail.com, or the other one that it's more direct to me is actually Christian, which is my name, CHRISTIAN, and then it's Jackson Global, that's JAXON, global.com. That is our digital media company. That's one of the in the universe. So we communicate a lot of our ideas, websites, what have you, through Jackson Global. So that's why I use that email address.
That's fantastic. You know, one of the things that we like to talk about on the show is books. You know, you know, to help.
So you have a great one here.
Yes, to help companies to develop and become better. And one of the ones, as we talked about earlier, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. This here is actually CDs. You can put these in your car and listen to, which is fantastic. But there's 6 ways to make people like you that the book actually talks about. One is become genuinely interested in other people. Number 2, of course, is smile. Number 3 is
you think that would be like, yeah, that might be one.
Exactly. And of course, remembering a person's name, because that, of course, is like the sweetest sound in any language, their own name. Of course, be a good listener. You know, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen twice as much as we talk. And of course, talk in terms of other people's interest. And number 6, make the other person feel important and do that sincerely. But this is a fantastic book, and of course I want my readers to actually, matter of fact, go to the library and pick it up
For
first.
free.
And then if you like it, you can put it in your own, buy it and put it in your own personal library. Do you have any books that you...
Well, you know, along this lines of personal development and business development, I think Acres of Diamonds is one that I really like. And the reason why is because the short of it is that we have, as humans, have the propensity to look elsewhere to try to find the next great thing, because it's like this cultural dynamic, oh, next great thing. But the reality is that it might be right under your feet.
That's right.
So the book is about a guy who, you know, went around the world looking for something that was already on his property that he sold. So he went penniless and insane for no reason.
Right in his backyard.
Right in his backyard.
Acres of diamonds.
Exactly.
So that's a hint out there. Number 1, read.
Yeah.
But it's been
Or listen.
Yes, that's correct. You know, it's been fantastic to have
Thank
you
you,
on.
Steve.
You know, we're looking forward to working together, you know,
Yeah.
a little bit more closely as
Absolutely.
far as SCORE is concerned, because we can help those individuals that are in your incubator,
Yeah.
you know, where we can. And we're excited about you coming to
So
town.
are we. We're excited about SCORE coming in and having another location to provide some of the rich programming and support resources that you guys offer. So we look
Yes.
forward to it as well.
Indeed. Well, thank you once again.
Of course.
All right. And once again, we'd like to thank our viewers out there for viewing us here at the SCORE Business Showcase. And to your success, all right, read and continue viewing our show.
Acres of Diamonds.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.